Hey, what's up, guys? There was a few community members that wanted me to make a video of my keybinds, so I figured I'd do that now since I have some free time. I'm a warlock main, and some of my keybinds are much different than my keybinds for my hunter and my titan. I guess I'm the type of player to constantly switch my keybinds when I switch my characters. But I'm just going to run you through what I run for my warlock. We got WASD for moving. Finisher I have on Q. I really enjoy my finisher being on Q. Can't explain why, but I just do. Now for my emo, my first emo, I have 4. I'm going to explain that one quick. I do tend to emote peak a lot when I'm playing PvP. I know for competitive play that's against the rules apparently, but I tend to emote peak a lot. And the emote that I use for emote peaking is wait, not that one. Is the salute. So my character is pretty much right up against the wall. I'm not dancing, so my arms aren't flaring around and my legs not coming from around cover or anything. So I should be pretty concealed, standing upright like that, just saluting. And the emo also lasts a while, so I could see what's around the corner for quite some time. So I have this on 4 simply because it's really easy for me to move my finger up from D to 4 nice and quickly to see what's around the corner without me having to run around the corner and get sniped. So that's pretty much why I have my emo on 4 as opposed to leaving it as up on the directional buttons on my keyboard. So that's that. Return to orbit. That's O. Fire. Left click. I don't know anybody who fires differently. Reload is R. Pretty basic. Melee. I melee with E. Now my mouse has 2 buttons on the left side, and I'm gonna show you guys what I run on my mouse. But basically, I use melee for E because I'd much rather use those 2 buttons on my mouse for something else, basically. Okay, so light attack, heavy attack, block is caps. I guess I use caps. It's a very accessible button for me when I'm moving around and I have the sword in my hand. I guess I've used this a lot during the new dungeon that came out, and with the sword, it helps a lot against the shrieker to be able to block real easily. Just move my pinky up from the sprint button to caps, and that basically just works for me. Sprint, I use shift, toggle crouch. Now this is what I was mentioning earlier. I crouch with the bottom, the lower left button on the side of my mouse. I guess I'm just gonna say the bottom button on the side of my mouse, just because it's, I don't know, I tend to spam it a bit when I'm shooting. I find it to be much easier for me to slide around by just clicking in with my thumb while sprinting, to go from cover to cover. And I guess that's the best way I know how to explain it. For my class ability, I use F. Again, as a warlock main, I don't really need to have this bound to my mouse because it's something that doesn't really require me going in a specific direction. Now, if I was a hunter, I bind the class ability to the top button of my mouse, because as a hunter, I guess I want to be able to move in certain directions and press the class ability when I need to. I guess I don't know. It makes sense to me, but as a warlock, there's really no need for that. I just, when I'm ready, just slide my finger from the D to F. It's right next to each other. It's real easy for me to do. I guess it's just more about accessibility. Air move, interact. Now interact I have as control, left control. So the mentality behind this kind of comes from Trials, how I set up my controls for Trials. Now I remember playing Trials back in the Xbox days with my controller, and in the back part of my controller I would have a paddle that I would hold, and I would set it as X so that I would be able to res people as I continue to shoot and strafe. Now it's basically the same concept. I use control because as I'm shooting I have my index finger, ring finger, pointer all on, moving around my character as I leave my pinky on control. I have, maybe it's because I have a big hand, it's easy for me. My wife has a hard time using control the way I do as interact, I suppose, but it's really easy for me to do, to just leave my pinky on control as I continue to move around with the direction, I guess, WASD. So that's basically why I leave it as control and not like F. My wife runs F. I can't imagine leaving my pointer on F and trying to like outstrafe somebody, rezzing somebody, or trying to grab power and move around. It's just real easy for me to use control. Hopefully I explained that decently. Grenade I have, now this is one of those things I was mentioning. If I was a hunter, for the forward button or the second button, the side, I really don't know how to explain this. It's the top button of the two on the left side of my mouse. If I was a hunter, I'd have that as my class ability. Now as a warlock main, I enjoy that button being a grenade because I could cook my nades. I could kind of fly as a well lock, I guess, when you charge your nade up and you're hovering around for a good amount of time. And if I'm on Nova Lock, you could cook your handheld supernovas like this. And it's just much easier for me. Again, it's all about being able to do what I want to do while I'm moving around, I suppose, because I don't want to use Q or E to cook my nade and try to move around with just like 2 fingers, out of the 3 that I use for left, right, up, and down. So again, hopefully I explained that right. Super I have as alt. My wife got me to set it as alt. I couldn't find a good button to pop my super. Before it was just clicking on my mouse, but now I just have it as alt. I just slide my thumb to the left and it's the left alt there, and just pop my super basically. Yeah, so switch to kinetic, energy, power. I initially had it to just click in my mouse wheel to switch from kinetic and energy. For a while, I tried my absolute best to change this to 1, 2, and 3, but I couldn't. I'm not left-handed. Like, it's really, really hard for me. I'm primarily a controller player, and I have the worst time ever trying to press a crap load of different buttons with my left hand. Like, I think I'm doing a pretty good job. I feel overwhelmed as is using a keyboard as a controller player, primarily a controller player. And I just find it easier to use the mouse to switch my weapons. Now, again, I did have it as click to switch weapons, but I decided to go with slide up for kinetic and slide down for energy weapon. Now, sometimes if I'm using a, let's see, if this is my setup, Recluse and Izanagi's, then I would quickly change to my sniper, which is my kinetic, to be scrolled down, and my Recluse to be scroll up, even though it's an energy weapon and Izanagi's is a kinetic, simply because I just want that muscle memory of knowing that whenever I'm switching to a sniper, for the most part, I'm scrolling down. Whatever my stronger weapon is, my either boss melt weapon or major kill weapon or whatever's not supposed to be my primary. It's more of a psychological thing, I suppose. Again, don't know if I'm explaining that well. Guys, there's a reason I don't make YouTube videos at this time. I'm horrible at explaining things, and I'm sure I said a whole lot throughout this video, but I really appreciate you guys bearing with me. I swear it's taking a lot out of me to make this video for y'all, but let's see. I'm just gonna keep winging it here. So that's what I do with these. Now these are just some shortcuts basically. Yeah, F1 opens up your character screen like this. I'm sure everybody knows that. And then for F2, I have it for opening my quest, which brings us to this screen. All right. And F3 we have as open director. So if I just want to go somewhere, F2 is check quest, F3 is director if I need to go anywhere, F1 is back over here, and then F4 I use for roster. So whenever I'm just playing PvP, if I want to quickly check who we're going up against, I just use F4. Those are the main 4 buttons that I press up top. And did I go over my mouse? I kind of did. Yeah, the 2 side buttons. I click up, down to switch weapons. I guess that's really it. Left click to shoot. Right click to aim down sights. I really hope I covered everything. I think we did. If you guys made it to the end of this video, I really appreciate that. Hopefully it wasn't too bad, but this is all I got for you guys for today. So thanks for coming through, and yeah, I'll see you guys. Take care. Have a great day. All right, bye.